right. I just wrote a short film for Disney. I don't know how. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I'm sorry for the language. They almost got T-boned right now. Oh, that was close. Anyway, okay, random. But, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to submit it, but I wrote this little short film, and I think it's freaking amazing. It's about, like, happiness and how happiness comes with purpose. And, yeah. I think it was amazing. I just sat down. I had this idea while I was making breakfast. I wrote it, and I wrote the entire thing. And I was like, wow, I wrote to completion a short film with the shots and everything and how everything pans out. And it's honestly like 4 minutes long, but it could be extended to 10 minutes if you felt like it. And because I used to watch those little short films from Disney, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And besides that, tonight, I'm just getting all the things that are on top of my mind before I get into like 4 pages of this. Tonight at 5:30 I'm going to Lewis baseball game, and then around 6:30 I'm going to go to the Oxnard gym and play basketball, which I never do, but I'm doing it because my good friend Nathan Scalise it's been 2 weeks since he went into a sober home, and he is able to go out tonight. And so I'm like, I don't care what I have to do, I'm going to see him because he needs people right now. Because addiction he's not addicted to anything crazy. He just smoked a lot, and then he like had a fight with his parents. He got kicked out, and then they put him in a sober home, and he's accepting the help. And like addiction is the lack of connection, like with people and anything. I think I've talked about this before. So I'm doing whatever I can to be there for him. And so all of our, like Ethan, Frank, and our friend Josh Harper, we're going to go play basketball, probably hit the sauna, and just give him a good time because he needs friends. And I love that man, dude. He's such a naturally gifted musician. Like, I went over to his house one time and he just wrote a song just because he felt like it. And I was like, wow. But anyways, Ethan and I call him Nick Drake because Nick Drake is this artist who like lost himself because he made a bunch of music and never got like famous off of it and never got recognized until like 20 years after he died. Maybe even 60. I think he was in the 60s. He was 1967, I think he died. Anyways, so that's that. Why is my car so loud right now? Anyways, taking a little bit too much time. Stop looking for shortcuts and new routines. Stick to the basics because they're far superior, and like continual specific change, and that's with exceptions, as long as you're on like a path and consistency. And I mean that as in like, I was at the gym and I saw on the TV like, it was talking about like new routine, new you, blah 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 blah. And it's like, you don't need a new routine every single time. Just stick to the basics of eating enough food, eating good food, having a little bit of discipline so that when you go to the grocery store, you don't buy whatever you feel like, going to the gym on a regular basis, and understanding how the body works for how your body is. Oh my gosh, that is a wide-bodied Tahoe. Look at that thing. And yeah, it's literally just the basics. Eat good, work out good, and take care of your brain. If your mental's good, your physical's good, your mental's good. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like as soon as I started taking care of my physical, my mental completely just like got so good. Dude, why is this thing so loud? Whatever. I feel very disconnected from myself, at least that was on the 20th I wrote this. Today's the 22nd. And it was because like I just hadn't had any deep thoughts in like seriously like 3 days. And it's probably because I was grinding so hard on those project cars that I didn't even have time to do anything but work. And I was very tired, a little bit sleep deprived, so it was like my brain wasn't functioning very well. And I just felt very kind of like I was watching my life, not living it, which is awesome, but I'm that self-aware. Which reminds me, I remember Uncle Doug and Kim were saying that I'm very, like, they're like, I'm impressed, like, you're very self-aware, and that was, like, during Thanksgiving, so almost a year ago, or half a year ago. Deep convos. I've had a lot of deep conversations about romance lately and the lack of love in our over-sexualized generation, and it's just, that is something I'm going to have to ponder on for a few years before I truly kind of understand it to the point where I can speak on it. Maybe, who knows, I don't want to put a limit on how much time, because I can't put time on anything. Girls my age are mature, and I tend to attract girls in their mid-20s, and I get along with them more also. They understand life more, they understand friends, boundaries, and they have more thought. And like, they just feel more real. Like, girls my age are very immature because they just are constantly chasing sex, and they don't know how to have a relationship. They like to party a lot, and very few of them have, like, they all have boundaries, but like, it's just they let themselves go for all of these dudes that are over-sexualized. And I don't know, I get along with middle-aged girls, or not middle-aged, like girls in their mid-20s way better, and I seem to be attracting them a lot more. Like, literally, there was this girl that was probably like 30 or even 35 at the bar the other day, and she came up and she was like, literally grabbed my face, and she was like, "You are so gorgeous." And I was like, dude, and I literally like had a plate of food and I was running it, and I was like, can you stop? And then she's like, "How old are you?" And she also wasn't very attractive, which made it like, I was like, "Ooh, don't touch me." And then I was like, "I'm 19. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then, yeah. It's just, I also think I just look older because I have facial hair. And maybe the way I carry myself, I don't know. But, whatever. Yapping, oh yeah, until Dad said that I'm a yapper, I never really heard the word yapping, but then like, since he said that, I've heard it like 4 times from people at work. Like, "What are you yapping about?" Like, like, just all the, like, I never hear the word yapping until right now. Maybe it's just because it's like, look for a red Mustang, and then it's like, all of a sudden you start seeing a bunch of red Mustangs. Like, yeah. And then this one kid, Hudson, at work, he's getting warnings at work because I talk to him, or we talk too much. He puts into action not talking to me, which is good discipline. Oh yeah, so like, he was like, we were talking to each other at the gym, and for like 2 hours a couple of days ago, we were just stretching for 2 hours and just doing a bunch of backflips and stuff. And he was like, he's like, I gotta like cool it because I got a warning. And at work, I thought he was gonna be like still talking a little bit, but like, he literally like barely talked. And I was like, wow, that's good discipline. This kid's he gets his stuff done. You know what I mean? Like, he puts into action. So it's impressive. Also, girls need a leader and a base to build upon. This is why, as a man, you can't be the emotional one. There's a time and a place to be vulnerable. Like, with your woman, when you're by yourself, you can be vulnerable with her. But, like, other than that, like, going around, like, you can't be the emotionally unstable guy, and you can't be, like, you need to be more, I guess, like, stoic and stern and protective for the woman. And sure, call it toxic masculinity, I don't care. That's what men are for. We are here to provide and protect. And I've realized lately within myself, like, I'm acting immature myself with these girls. Because, like, I'm trying to figure out the balance of being friends with these girls and seeing them in a platonic way, and, like, providing them a fun environment, and then also, like, at the same time, like, keeping that to myself for only my girl, whoever that is. And I don't know, this is something I haven't really developed my thoughts upon yet, but I've been thinking that. Also, I've had a lot of back pain lately. My back, it gets good by the end of the night, and then I wake up and it's stiff again. Then at church I wrote this. I haven't been writing, so I've been forgetting. Little journaling and vernaling, video journaling, and little thought books. Like writing in these. And why? I think it's because I was busy all week with the cars and work at Dargan's, and there's a little time left in the day. And, like, I've lost that habit and discipline of writing anytime I think anything. But I'll get it back. So it's just like constantly throwing myself into changing environments, which is inevitable, and learning how to balance that and master that, because I know that's what my life is going to look like. So it's like, I have to accept that, and I have to master it, because otherwise I'll lose myself. I also feel very burnt out, like mentally. Except for like 2 days ago, I realized I was burnt out, and then I was like, okay. Or yesterday I realized I was burnt out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like cool it a little bit. Also, it's very hard to meet people my age. So I'm not gonna lie, I got these dating apps, and I don't really like them because it's like everybody on there just wants sex. But I think I've met 2 girls who could actually just be friends. So, but I'm not gonna limit it. I'm just gonna let it be whatever it is. So, yeah. And then also, I've been on my phone too much. Those apps make me on my phone too much, and I hate it. I hate being on my phone. Also, about yapping, I circled this because I think it's going to be the title of the video. Talking too much to think. Like, I've just been putting out, like, content in videos, content in my journal, content in these things, content in music, content in, like, just writing in my phone, like, anything. Just writing everything I have, to the point my mind is becoming so blank that there's, like, barely any seeds left to build upon. Which is actually kind of cool because I can go into my phone, and since I've written so much, I can literally find anything and start a project, and it'll start thought. But to be honest, it doesn't feel very organic, and I don't like that. And last thing, Grandma picks the low-hanging fruit of careers. Like, this is insane to me. The other day, I went over to Mom's house, or the Ellis's house, for a little barbecue, and she literally was saying, she's like, so have you considered being a plumber yet? Because, like, every single time I see, not every single time, but almost every single time I see her, she's like, you should be a plumber. They make the big bucks, like $80 an hour. And I'm like, okay, but you're limiting yourself so much. Yeah, $80 an hour is attractive when you're starting, but $80 an hour is really, it's like nothing. I'm trying to be making, like, in the next couple of years, like, 80 grand a month, not $80 an hour. You know what I mean? Like 100 grand a month. Maybe like $1 million in a year. Like, that's what I'm aiming for before I'm 25. And I honestly, I see a path. I completely see it happening. Whether it means, like, I think my first $1 million will be from building exotic cars, and using my money like that, or yeah, something like that. And then my next like 5 to 10 million will come from making a I think about contracting because I know people in it and I can be mentored. But I honestly think just development company, like building homes, because there's so much money in that. Like, I talk about this all the time. Like, there's this property in Ojai for $600 grand, and the average cost to build a home in California is $400,000. That's $1 million right there. If I had $1 million in capital or just business loans, I can turn that property in less than 1 year of building it, and I can turn that literally every single house in that neighborhood sells for over $2 million. Boom, doubled your money, $1 million in 1 year. That's how I'm thinking. And I'm 19, and I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm thinking those things. Nobody else I know is thinking those things. So I'm going to do my thing. Yeah, I say she picks the low-hanging fruit of the careers because she was listing on her finger. She's like, I wanted to have a grandson who's a plumber. I want to have a grandson who's a lawyer. I want to have a grandson who's a doctor. I want to have a grandson who's an electrician. And I'm like, I literally told her, I was like, is that so you never have to hire anybody? Like, you want a bunch of free work? And then it kind of like shut her up. And I felt kind of bad. I was like, that's rude as fuck to say to your grandma. But, like, it's just, then I started actually, they understand now because I told them what I'm doing at Ethan's farm. And I was like, I've literally created for myself a job that's basically paying over $100 an hour for the amount of profit I'm making. And I did that my first year out of high school with no business, no experience or anything. So I'm like, I don't care what you have to say. I'm not limiting myself and wasting years of my life in a job I don't care about, using a skill that takes a month to learn. Like, I'll learn it for fun, and I'll learn it in projects I do. Like, maybe, who knows? I'm not even going to say what I learn it from because I don't know, but I know that it will be inevitable. So it's like, I'd rather learn it from that and learn from my father, who has literally taught me plumbing, a little bit of it, which it's really not that hard at all. It is so simple, but whatever. It's just like the routing that's actually difficult and understanding the pressure and whatever. And the physics of it, which is why you go to school for it. I think my mental burnout is partially derived from my loss of pure appreciation of life in the present moment, and pure joy of enjoying life rather than for others. Not everything needs to be shared vocally, like how I had this silent conversation with this kid at work, Cody. Like, we both looked at each other and we were just like, and then he was like, so much was just said right now. And I didn't even register, but I was like, yeah, a lot was just said right now. And then, I feel like I've been saying, like, I've been just talking too much to think. And so that's why I think a little bit of my mental burnout is from. And also meditation. Oh, yesterday, I meditated for the first time in, like, actually, like, over a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a month. Like, an actual meditation, like, I sat down. I mean, I've been doing it in the sauna, actually, with Ethan, but those are really hard to focus because your body's itching all the time because it's a sauna. But yeah, I haven't been, and it's so refreshing, and also meditation is key. As soon as I finished my meditation, in my meditation, I had 2 epiphanies, and I was like, oh my God, it's the first time in 4 days, and, like, it just felt so heavenly to think again. And I was like, meditation is key to tapping into the ether and the universe speaking through you. And so it's like, it's just, how the hell do thoughts come to us in the first place? Like, where do they come from? Like, where in our brain are chemicals firing to think this thing I've never thought before? It just doesn't make sense. But I think it's actually subconscious, because like when you dream and you see a face, it's impossible for your brain to create a face that's never seen before. They use faces you've already seen. So maybe that's kind of like you're just putting together 2 different faces of thought and combining into a new, like, Morpheus. I don't know. And then Dad. I was thinking about Dad. This is the second to last thing before I end it for today. And enjoy the present moment and enjoy just how beautiful life is. Also, let me actually rant on that real quick. About life. Like, whenever I'm driving, I look at the tree, and I'm not recording, I just look at the trees, and I'm just in awe. Like, how do these exist? How do I exist? And just, everything is so beautiful. And how gifted am I that I have the mind that I have, the body that I have, the opportunity that I have, the thoughts that I have, the people that I have. And I take so much for granted. And I just, this pure, like, there's a certain sense of detox that I've gotten to where the most simple things create the most joy I've ever experienced, which I don't think I can put into words. Like, I get the chills. I'm so joyful. I literally start like jumping up and down sometimes and like doing little like little kid screams where they're just like, ah! Like, I do that like all the time. Like, I'm just so excited. Like, I don't be by myself like a freak, just like, oh my God, ah! Like, everything's so, I love life so much. I want to translate this to other people and beyond the words, and that's why I think music will be super helpful and super fun too. But whatever, not whatever, but you know, time for the new thought. So with Dad, I was talking about many of my idols and role models / mentors who shaped me as a man, who aren't Dad. For example, like Chris Williamson, C-Bum, I can't think of anything, Andrew Huberman, and most importantly, Alex Hormozi, probably the most influential man on my like mindset. And it may seem as if Dad is limited, and he is, in his fatherhood / influence, but he's the most powerful because of this. And so it's like, so whenever I talk about this, like, for example, I was talking about Mr. Schneer, and he is this, like, he's such a character, like, super outdoorsy guy. He's the kind of guy that wears those shoes that have, like, webbed toes, and he's just constantly outside. All of his kids have dumb phones. They're all incredibly talented with music. Like, they play, like, 10 instruments each, like, which is just understated right there. Like, that, it's amazing. And just the kids he made are amazing. And the property he lives on is ginormous. They live on like basically a ranch up in one of the most like they live close to Dwight Schrute from The Office. Like, that guy like lives in the hills of Camarillo, and they live near him. Like, what's it called? Spanish Hills, yeah. And they live on this big ranch with a big farm. And just anything I learned about the Schneers, like they were very popular musical. Like he and his wife were very popular music artists. They made like Catholic, just folk music, I guess. And it was like played on all the Catholic radios for like 2 years. And like it's just, and then after they did music, like 5 years later, they moved to Wyoming so that they can avoid taxes on like the stock of his company that he created with a couple of guys. And their company is a soda brand that's like organic, and it's like not really, it's kind of more like just like juice. Tractor Soda. It's called Tractor Soda. And the first place I saw it was at Thomas Aquinas College. I was like, oh my gosh, no way, it's the Schneers company. And then it's at Chipotle. Every single Chipotle in the United States has Mr. Schneers soda brand. And it's the biggest container out of all the soda machines. Like it's the center one. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I was told that his company's worth like $100 million or something like that. And I'm like, I was just talking to Dad about like how I aspire to be like Mr. Schneer, of like just living life in nature, having incredible kids, and like just living that kind of life. And then he told a story about Mr. Schneer, who like how like one time he like they went camping and they created a guys club for Thomas Aquinas College, and they just wanted to be outside doing things instead of being as quote unquote pussies who just read the rosary. So they all like went outside, and Mr. Schneer decided he was too hot, so he took off his pants and he was like running around in just his tidy whities. And my dad was like, basically like, sometimes he's a little bit too sus. He's a questionable character. But anyway, it was just like I was admiring Mr. Schneer, and I felt bad because I can see on Dad's face, Dad was like, here's Enzo, who's admiring a man who's completely not what I am, and like I completely lack these character traits as a man. And so it's like I kind of felt bad, but sorry for that little 5-minute rant right there. I'll finish this. Dad is the most powerful because he led me to be the man I am. A man who is ambiguous, ambitious, artistic, and enabled me to be self-reliant, to learn from others besides him and besides myself, which is ultimately, he taught me how to be wise. Because a wise man learns from others. A smart man learns from himself, and a stupid man learns from nothing. And Dad is basically created me to be, let me think of an analogy. Dad has created me to be the tree that absorbs from the sun, and the sun is basically all the energy from everything. Like, it allowed me to absorb from those below me, like the soil, and absorb from what's above me and those who are above me. And at the same time, be so fragile that you can manipulate it to be exactly how you want it to be, like a bonsai tree, which actually my first bonsai tree just sprouted, that Ethan gave me for my birthday, which is awesome. I thought they were dead because they got drenched from the rains like multiple times. Last thing, jobs are higher paying at first. Let me prove this. So for last summer, I was trying to hustle, and I was like, I'm gonna flip cars and make a bunch of money. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm like, that is so low, like paying, like realistically, like you can make like $2-3 grand a month, $4 grand a month doing that. And it's like not that much work, but that's enough money to get by. I want to have way more than that. And I don't want to just be like, oh, I flip cars. Nah. So at Dargan's, now that I'm a server, last night I made $130 in tips in a couple of hours. And I'm like, all of my hustling skills, my best hustling skills, would not be able to make that much money that fast. So for that, a job, like a part-time job, allows you to get the capital to start making more money. And jobs are higher paying at first. No doubt. Because ultimately the reason why you should like leave a job is when you have like a business that makes way more money. But for example, this kid Sean that I'm friends with, I admire him very much. When he was 17, he started a detailing company, and he just turned 20. He had, I think he had like 60 grand cash. He bought a BMW M4 for like 46 grand cash, and like his detailing business is impressive and everything, and like he's good business. Like it's really impressive. And he also did car sales, and he made more money for that. Damn, this guy's flying. Anyways, and then he spent like another 10 grand modifying it, and like he was low-key stupid with his money. He's like, I know I'm stupid with my money right now, and I'm like, yeah, you are, like, but I'm gonna support you whenever you do, because I know that you're gonna make it back like nothing. And he's very happy with that. He loves that thing. It truly brings him happiness, which I think is low-key not for me, because like I don't think material will bring you happiness, but I mean, he loves cars. So Sean, businessman, owns his own business, knows a lot of people. His mentors, like he knows this 26-year-old and 27-year-old who are both, not combined, both making $100,000 a month for their like body shop business out in like somewhere in Ventura, Oxnard, or whatever. So $200,000 a month, like combined. So that's the kind of people Sean's surrounded by. And Sean's cousin owns 2 of the biggest yachts in the Ventura Harbor, and he's been working on them with him. And he invited me. He was like, yo, I have this opportunity. These people, I know, like the family that owns the biggest like yachts and everything in the harbor, and they have like they do party catering, and it's like $6,000 per party. And I'm like, geez, who the hell pays that? And he's like, you'd be surprised, up to $20,000 for a wedding. And he basically is, those people are like, Sean, would you like to buy this business from us? We're trying to get out of it. And Sean was like, well, I could sell or finance it, but I'm not really trying to do that. So he's like, why don't I do all of the work for you? You keep exactly the margin that you're getting right now, and any excess I get to keep. So basically, if he keeps saying, say they do 5 caterings a month, or 3 caterings a month for an average of 10 grand, 30 grand a month. If Sean does 2 more caterings a month, or even just 1 more, he's making $10,000 to $20,000 a month, which is just a little bit more promotion, because they're not on social media at all. They don't do any ads. Like they literally just do, like basically word of mouth is what I'm hearing. So it's like, wow, that's impressive. And then Sean yesterday, I'm so proud of him. I'm jealous and very proud of him. He tells me, he's like, yo, so I got a job offer to be a captain of the biggest yacht, or like second biggest yacht in Ventura Harbor. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's amazing. Like, can you imagine like being a captain to the biggest yacht in a harbor in one of the most desired places on the planet, like Ventura, California, in between Santa Barbara, LA, and San Francisco, Carpenter. Like, like, can you believe that? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be making 6 figures, bro. And I'm like, okay, how much? He's like, $200,000. $200,000 a year. He's just turned 20. He's going to go to 1 year of schooling for this, and then he's going to be making $200,000 a year at the age of 21, no college. This is what I'm saying, folks. It's what I'm saying. When you open yourself up to the universe, it brings the opportunity to you. Read The Alchemist. When a man wants something so bad, the universe confines to make it happen for him. Oh, I really forgot the quote, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm here at the farm now, and this dog got beat up by the other dogs, and Ethan didn't even know this was there, but look at this. Pups, you good, bro? Dude, I'm not even going to show too much of that to the camera. That is sad. That is terrible. Anyways, on a good note, yeah, it's going to get taken down from YouTube. So, oh, little meow. I was just petting a little meow for like 5 minutes. Okay, so, Ethan, tell the story.
So, I went to this garage sale yesterday, and I was like, I went there, and there was a truck, and it looked exactly like my green one, but it had a Crown Vic underneath it. That's what I'm going to do with the green one later, put a Crown Vic swap with the frame and engine transmission.
Yeah.
So I went there, asked him, I was like, oh, hey, how much for the truck, you know? He's like, oh, let me get my buddy. So his buddy comes out, and he's like, oh, the truck's $4,500. And I was like, okay. I was like, that was a little too expensive. I was like, thanks anyway. I was like, I'm going to keep looking. So in the back corner, there's a scooter, and it was all together, but it took it apart to fix it. But so there's a scooter, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to ask how much the scooter is. So I go up to him, like, hey, I was like, I saw a scooter back there. I was like, how much you want for it? And he's like, I want $350 for the scooter. I was like, oh, okay, $350. So I'm gonna assume it runs, right? So I'm like, oh, does it run? He goes, well, no. I was like, okay, well, it's missing the air filter. I was like, do you have the air filter? And he goes, well, no. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and he's like, you know what? He's like, if you get it today, he's like, if you pay for it right now, he's like, I can do 300. I was like, all right, let me think about it. So I'm walking around.
Insane negotiator. He's the best negotiator I know.
So just walking around, just chilling. I was like, looking at some other stuff. They had some tires and rims, some exhaust pipes and stuff. So I come back and I was like, hey, this is gonna sound kind of low. I was like, but I'll give you $100 for it, like right now. I was like, that's it. I was like, it's not really worth anything else. It's not really worth anything more to me than that. He's like, okay. He's like, nah. He's like, I can't do that. He's like, I had a guy offer me 250 yesterday and I turned it down. I was like, oh, okay, no worries. So turn around, walking back to the truck. I literally reach out my hand for the door handle to grab the door. And he goes, wait. I'll take the $100. And I was like, that's what I thought. So I pulled out the $100 and handed it to him and went and grabbed my scooter.
Dude, that's so insane. And then, dude, that's insane. Like, Ethan has done that so many times to yard sales. Like, tell him the time when you drove by. He did a drive-by negotiation.
Oh, yeah. So there's this cabinet that my mom wanted. And I was like, oh, you know what? Like, we'll stop and see how much it is. And I was like, actually, don't get out. I was like, just roll down my window as we're driving. So we're driving this way, and the yard sale's on the right-hand side. And I was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
So I rolled down the window, and I was like, hey, how much for the cabinet, the corner cabinet? And they're like, the whole thing or just the corner cabinet? I was like, just the corner cabinet. I was like, just the left one. And then they're like, it's $50. And I was like, oh, okay, how about the right one? Is it
Didn't you say 80?
What?
Did you say 80? I think you said 80.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they went 80 first.
Yeah.
So like, oh, 80. And then I was like, how much for the left cabinet? And they're like, well, I guess we could do 40. And so I was like, thanks anyway. I was like, I have $10. I was like, we should take $10. And they're like, sorry, that's a little too low. I was like, all right, thank you. So, so we drive away, and I was like, oh, just turn around and make sure you roll down your window on the way back. So, like, okay. So
you said that to his dad.
Yeah, I was like, so I told it to my dad, and I was like, just roll down your window. I was like, just drive really slow past it. I was like, don't look at them, but just drive really slow with your window down. And so he's like, okay. So as we're driving by, they're like, wait, we'll take $20. If you have $20, we'll take $20 for the cabinet. And I was like, so I like lean over. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, all I got's $10. And then she's like, all they have is $10. I was like, yeah, that's all I got. I was like, if I had more, maybe I'd pay you, but probably not. But so it's like all I had was $10. And then so they're like, okay, we'll take $10. I handed them $10 through the window, and then got out and grabbed it and put it in the truck and left.
That's that is from 8 to 1. That is how good negotiator he is, dude. And then from 350 to 100.
And then I think you already told them about the yard sale though that we went to for all the cars. Actually, won like $500 for the whole pile.
Oh yeah. Tell them about that one.
Okay, so went to this garage sale, this other garage sale last week.
That's where we got all of these cars.
Yeah. So I grabbed a cherry picker, a pipe bender, catalytic converter. I got you some magazines and some albums and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so, and then there's like a bunch of other stuff that my dad wanted. And I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll pay for it. It's cool. And then so I'm like, hey, how much for the pile? And she's like, well, you have this and this and this. And she's like, and that thing's pretty big. And she's like, I think she said like something like $500. She's like, I want $500 for everything. I was like, you want $500 for everything? I was like, okay, well, what if I take out the cherry picker? And the cherry picker is a huge thing to pick up an engine out of a car. It's like a really big piece of machinery.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I don't know, maybe like $350. So just the cherry picker, she wanted $150 for. And then the other thing, I was like, well, how about if I take out the pipe bender? And it was the next biggest thing. But they're trying to clear out the garage. They're trying to get rid of stuff, not keep it. And so
because we knew that at the end of the day, they are not going to sell anything else because they're just dumping it all out. So they're trying to get as much money as they possibly can. And there's not that many people there. There's only like 20 or 30. So it's like, we knew that nobody's going to buy them tomorrow. So it's like, we can negotiate down. Yeah.
So she's like, well, we're trying to get rid of stuff. We're not trying to keep it here. And I was like, okay, so maybe give me a better price for everything. And then she's like, I guess $350. I was like, all right, let me think about it. So let me think about it. So I went to add some more stuff to the pile, and then went back to her, and then asked her. I was like, hey, I'll give you $100 for the whole pile without the cherry picker, or $140 with the cherry picker. And she's like, could you do $150? And I was like, no. I was like, 140. She's like, fine. And then she took 140.
Yep. And then later, I think it was $20 for the chain.
They wanted 20 for the chain, 20 for the engine hoist, and she wanted originally she wanted 100 for all the copper pipe. That's what she told the one dude.
Yeah.
So it was like 140.
Because the copper.
It was $140 worth of stuff originally that she wanted.
Yeah.
And then I got her down to $6.
$6. Long story short, he got her down to $6.
140 to $6.
And we strategically made it like, okay, I'm gonna go lowball her, and then he's gonna come back and lowball her lower. So that it's like, okay, that's even lower. So get her mind into a set of like, this is what people think it's worth. So that when she gets even lower, she's kind of like in a desperate like, they didn't buy it at $20. Shit, I'll take 10. And then he's like, how about 6?
I was like, how about? So this is what I said. I was like, I'll give you $5 for everything. And she's like, I could do 40. And I was like, no, thank you. And I turned around and started walking. She's like, I can do 20. I was like, nah, I'm good. She's like, 10. And I was like, no, thank you. And I just kept walking. And then later I came back around. I was like, I'll give you $6 for it. She's like, don't mess with me when you already have a good deal. And I was like, lady, I'm in control here. Like, you have no leverage. Ready your stuff.
Yep.
She's like, fine, I'll take the $6.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
And then how much did you sell the copper pipe for?
All right, I took that in. The next day, I spent 1 hour just like cutting it and stuff and cleaning it up, and it was $130 in copper.
And then it's okay. So back to the scooter. So this here. Do you have the picture of what it looked like at first? So Ethan, this morning here, tell him what you've done so far.
So, watch the scooter. It looked like that. It was all chrome. It had the chrome handles and like the chrome. What do you call it? The deck, I guess.
Yeah.
Chrome deck. And I was like, I don't really like the
Chrome handles.
Yeah, all this was chrome. And so I was like, I don't really like the chrome, and it was kind of rusty. And I was like, I'm just gonna sand it, buy a can of matte black paint, and paint it, because like it looks way better. I'm gonna call it the black.
Yeah, like look at this beautiful paint job that he did. Like I came over and I was like, wow, this is in great condition. This looks factory. And he's like, I did it myself.
Sure did. With a rattle can too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is insane.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna paint it. So I sanded it down, cleaned it, washed it, painted it, and then I'm gonna call it the Black Widow. But yeah,
Yep.
The chrome handles, I didn't really like them, and they're kind of rusty. So this is what it looked like. I haven't done this one yet. I have to take all this stuff off.
That's what it all looked like.
But that is what it looked like. It was okay, I guess. But
Yeah.
I think the black looks way better. I'm gonna do the deck black too,
Yeah.
and then get some black grip tape for it.
Yeah. And then tell them all the electrical work. And what the guy said that it didn't run. And then what did you figure out? And then what did you do?
Well, let's see. So the wire was disconnected, and there's a kill switch up here. And if there's not a full circuit, it kills the.
Like it doesn't kill the engine?
It kills the motor, so it stops sending spark to the engine, so it just stops running.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what this button here is for, this yellow one.
Yeah.
So when you want to stop, you just press the button in. And
Yeah.
it turns off the circuit.
Yeah.
So it closes the circuit so that way the engine dies. But he had it open because he had a broken wire. So I tried pulling it, it wouldn't start. So this page, there's another one, but I don't know where it went. It's this one. So this one was originally connected here, like this. So I just bypassed it and put a copper wire, like a little copper wire, like a U.
Yeah.
Just stuck it in there, pulled it, and it was like. That sounded really good.
Yeah.
But so it cost me. Let's see, what did I say? What did I pay for? I paid for the paint. It was $7. And I paid for...
I think it was $13, you said.
Oh, that's right. And I paid for a new fuel line because the fuel line was cracked too. And that's why I couldn't get fuel to the engine. So I paid $14? $13 or $14. And it's going to be like a brand new bike.
Yep.
So $114.
So he did the new wiring. You're going to put, what's it called?
I got to tape it up and then put the, what's it called? The heat. It's like shrink wrap. It's like
shrink wrap, that's what it
was.
is.
It's a tube that you put on it and you heat it up.
Yeah, and it shrinks on it.
Shrinks it. So it'll look like this.
Yeah.
And then get that all black. And then it looks very nice.
Yeah, and then right now, he just took off the exhaust right here, and he's going to straight pipe it. Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. Because I was like a muffler, so I'm just going to put...
Where did it go?
I'll build some... I put it in the box of parts over here.
Oh, wait, where? Oh, right here. Wait, no. Here we go. This was the exhaust that went on right here.
It smells like a car. Like, just smell it.
It smells like oil.
It smells like it.
Yeah, it went on right there. Oh, face. It's right.
So-
Ooh, you know what we should keep this for? When we have that day, once we sell everything, where we just like spend the day welding and making little art, we can make a little robot out of this.
Okay.
Robot
We'll keep it
face.
then.
Yeah, we'll keep this. What's that?
But, so I was painting all the parts.
Little moo-moo.
So I went to the store, and they're like, the lady was like, we only have flat black. And I was like, well, I want matte black. And she's like, well, we have flat black. I was like, well, what's the difference? She's like, well, flat's a little more flat. And I was like, well, thank you, lady. That really helps. It's like, all right, I'll take the flat black. But it's matte black.
Yeah.
It's almost like kind of gray.
Here's the gas tank.
So I'm gonna repaint all these with a second coat, and then let them dry, and then I'll put the whole bike back together.
Yeah.
So probably see that tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Little moo-moos.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I get that scratch. What's this one eating, bro? What are you scared of?
That looks evil.
It does look evil.
Demon.
Yeah, I know. Literally a devil. But that's the evil one because it'll chase you. So.
Oh yeah, and then this was the other copper pipe. I didn't take it in because I was gonna try to make some rings out of it.
Rings? Ooh.
This one was too thick, but this one's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna like sand it down.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly though. Yeah.
Nice. I'll turn your finger green.
Sure will.
And also, this is the part that was like just sitting. What's it called? What's it called again? The
Torque converter.
torque converter. This was sitting in the back of the Bentley, and this thing's worth like $500. And I got the Bentley itself. I got for $102. And then everything. These are all parts that we can resell.
Just put this on the back of the scooter.
That on the back of the scooter. Put the whole thing. It would lose like 5 miles per hour, and it would be like off balance. But I mean, it would be pretty cool. I mean, if you get bored of it after a little straight pipe, like who knows? Maybe I mean it's just welding. So. Yeah, I might have to. Yeah. Oh, Dixie, come here, babies. This is Cujo. She used to try to eat us, and I turned her into a little sweetheart. Come here, babies. Yeah. Like you say it again.
I said somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah, she always attacks even Ethan, the owner. Hey, babies. Oh, babies. Yeah, girl, you're so adorable. You smell my shoe? Well, she's adorable. Every time I walk past her, she's like barking, and then once I pet her, she shuts up. And then like she'll like come up to the fence. And, hey, shush. Want me to pet you? Want me to pet you? Put your butt over here. Yeah, bring your butt over there. Yeah, girl. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know you love that. Look at you. You're adorable. You miss me? You miss your daddy? Oh, Rapucci. Look at her. Bro, she wants the loving. She loves me. It's the kind of girl that will fight for me. Same thing with the cat. I love that cat. It's like the ideal woman. She's like fierce warrior, completely black, completely independent. She'll go fetch all the birds that I shoot, and then she'll eat them, and then she'll come up and just like let me hold her, and she'll like absolutely like love being pet, and she'll like I put my hand out, and she's just like, so it's just like a little cuddle monster, and then also fierce as hell. So let's say it again.
Well, I'm thinking that within the next 2 months, that the used car market is gonna drop like a rock, like crazy. Because I can already kind of see it happening with like prices and everything.
Yeah.
So it can happen. Like when it was gonna shoot up, I guessed I was like, oh, I think it's gonna rocket, and it did actually. So, but I think now the used car market's gonna drop like crazy because all the car prices are like slowly kind of just like staying steady. They're not climbing anymore. They're probably gonna start dropping. And cars are kind of getting a little cheaper, it seems like.
What is she doing?
Eating your head.
You good, bro? It like gave me the chills but tickled.
Yeah.
Dude, what the heck is she doing?
I might end up selling all of my cars for like a little bit under.
Dude, she's eating my hair. Stop.
I might sell them all for under like market price.
Yeah.
Because I think in like 2 months, the cars that are worth between like 10,000 and 30,000 are gonna be worth between like 3,000 and like 8,000.
Yeah.
So in a couple months, I think you're gonna be able to buy like a really, really nice car for like $7,000.
Why?
Because nobody's gonna have money. The demand for them, because okay, so right now, there's, the population is declining a lot, right? Which means people have more cars, right? People have more cars. People aren't driving as many places anymore, right? Because there's not as many people. There's not as many people. So more cars for less people, and there's less driving. So, let's say you have a family, right? And so passes away, and they give you their car. Then you have 3 cars or whatever, because you have 2 and then you have 3, and you don't need the extra one. But if that happens to everybody, and everybody has an extra car, then everybody's going to be trying to sell their cars, and they're not going to be worth anything. So they're going to take the best car, but then the cheap cars are going to be worth even less because there's going to be more expensive cars for cheaper because people are trying to get rid of them. Because most people only have like a 2-car, what's it called? Not parking lot.
House.
Yeah, it's like a 2-car house. And most people can't park more than 2 cars, 2 or 3 cars at their house. So if there's more cars for sale, there's going to be less demand because everybody's going to have a car, and then they're going to be cheaper. And nobody likes working on cars anymore. So.
Yeah, well, they're impossible to work on. Well, the new ones are. Yeah. Damn.
I think I'm going to drop the prices on all of the cars and then try to get rid of every single one of them. Because they're still worth like $15,000, even like way under market value.
Yeah.
Worth, if I put that up for $8,000, I could sell $10,000 more. Like somebody would come buy it.
Why don't you do it?
$8,000. Because I'm trying to get $14,000.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't sell within 2 weeks, I'll put it at like 10. And then if it doesn't sell for another week, I'll put it at 8. So I'll do that. And then if that, I already have an offer on the Toyota Camry for $2,400 cash. The guy he said, if you ever decide, he's like, I'll pick it up that day. I said, okay. And then this one, I had somebody ask about it, but they never texted back. But I think it's up for like $6,000 because I didn't really want to sell it. But I was like, sell it for $6,000. I was like, I'll take it. So I could probably sell it for like 2 at least.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3.
But I mean, we also have to calculate in what your dad was saying, the ROAR, the ROR, rate of return, which is basically like your profit versus how long it takes to get that profit. So it's like, I feel like he was saying like sometimes it's better to sell things cheap and quick because you get your profit really quick versus waiting way longer, getting more money, but you basically have opportunity cost because during that time it took, you missed out on other opportunities because you didn't have the capital. So it's like, I feel like that's why for me, I honestly think like I'm okay with selling this for like $2 to $3 grand. Right. I mean, I'm still gonna give you $500, so no matter what, you're getting $500. That one, I mean, if we got a guy coming tomorrow morning for $1,100, let's do it. Yeah. And then this one, if we could part it out or do whatever, sell the Bentley parts to collectors for like, if I get like 2,000 out of it, that's 1, 3, 5 to 6 grand, and then
out of $500.
Out of $500 is amazing. Good. And then also, like, how much for the Yamaha? Like 1,000 or?
So I have people offering me 1,000 for it, but I turned most of them down. There's one legit dude I think that offered 1,000.
Okay.
Oh, he was gonna come look at it, and I retexted him. I was like, hey, you want to come look at it today? I was like, I'm available for the rest of the day, and then he read the message and never responded.
Damn.
I was like, okay. So there's a couple other people that are like, I'll give you 500. Some dude offered me like $200 for it. No.
Yeah, no.
And then some dude was like, oh, it's a Sika. So I guess he knows the model. They said it's a Yamaha Sika. So I'm like, oh.
Yes, I mean that's an extra $1,000. I mean minimum 500. Like, let's just split it in half. So it's like anywhere from like 5. Like I was saying, like 7.5 to 13 grand is what I could get for these. But it's like I'd rather get even like 6 grand like this week. Yeah. So that I can have 6 grand pocketed. I have 5 grand sitting in my closet. I have 4.5 grand sitting in a savings account, emergency fund. I got 3 grand in crypto, and I got 1,000 in my spending account. That's plenty of money to have capital for some miracle opportunity. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about. Also, we have to figure out, if a guy's gonna come pick up the BMW, we have to figure out how to teleport this thing to right here. And it has no brakes.
There's no brake, no engine, no transmission. The drive-line's disconnected, so everything's free. The emergency brakes don't work because they're also disconnected. So once it starts rolling, it's not gonna stop unless you make it stop.
We could inch it. We could put chocks like every 3 feet and roll it and be pushing backwards so that you can ease into it.
Car without the engine.
Yeah, but
it's a really heavy car.
It is, but look at that tongue.
What?
Oh, little mammal.
It's a long tongue.
I know, dude. It's going crazy.
Imagine being able to touch your neck with your tongue.
That's crazy. That's what we're thinking about. I'm going to end it. Have a fantastic night, fantastic day. I love you. Nana, I miss you. I'm going to Hawaii in a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm making like a 4-hour documentary. And then after that, I'm going to be coming out to visit you. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Bye-bye.